He used to think I trusted him just because I stood there and let him put a halter on, just because I walked beside him, just because I didn't pull away. But the truth is, I wasn't trusting him. I was tolerating him. There is a difference. You see obedience. I feel what is behind it. One day, something changed between us. Maybe it was the way his hands tightened on the reins. Maybe it was the time he moved faster than my fear could understand. Maybe it was that moment when I was scared and he got angry instead of calm. Whatever it was, my body remembered it. And from that day on, I stopped meeting him halfway. I started watching him from a distance, even when I was close. I started preparing to leave, even when my feet stayed still. Trust doesn't break in a single moment. It cracks quietly in all the times I am afraid and you don't notice. I remember the first day he realized something was wrong. He walked into the pasture with a halter in his hand, confident, like always. He whistled my name. He called me like he used to, but this time I didn't walk to him. I lifted my head, looked at him, and then I took a step away. Just one step. But inside, something was shouting. "I don't feel safe with you." He didn't understand. He came closer, faster this time, trying to catch me. So I walked away again. Not running, not spinning, just moving out of his reach each time he tried. He saw disrespect. I felt self-preservation. Days went by like this. He would arrive with a goal, ride, train, practice, fix something. I could feel his intention from far away. I knew when his heart was in a hurry. And I knew one thing. My body was not ready to give itself to that. I did not want to fight him. I just did not want to be caught. Then something changed. Not in me, in him. One day, he walked into the pasture without a halter. No rope, no gear, no agenda. He didn't call me. He didn't whistle. He didn't walk straight toward me with that sharp line of intention. He simply came in, sat down on the grass, and stayed. At first, I didn't believe it. I watched him from a distance, ears forward, then back, then forward again, waiting for the trick, for the secret halter, for the moment he would suddenly stand up and try to catch me. But he didn't. He just sat there, quiet, breathing, looking at the sky, the trees, the ground, not at me all the time. He had come into my world without trying to take me into his. That was new. I walked a little closer, just a few steps, pretending to graze. My ears stayed pointed toward him, listening for tension. His body stayed soft. His breathing stayed slow. His intention felt different, like a question instead of a demand. He stayed for a long time, and then he left without ever touching me. He did this again, and again. He came into the pasture with nothing in his hands, and each time he gave me the one thing I had been missing: choice. He let me choose if I wanted to be near him or far from him. He let me decide if I would turn my back or face him. He stopped trying to chase my body and started inviting my heart. One evening, the sky was turning gold and the wind was soft. He came in slowly, like always now. He stopped at a respectful distance and waited. He didn't call my name. He didn't clap his hands. He didn't move with impatience. He just stood there. And for the first time, I realized something inside me was changing. My shoulders relaxed, even though I hadn't told them to. My neck softened. My feet stayed where they were. I was no longer planning how to leave. That was the beginning of trust. Trust doesn't arrive with a big moment. It starts quietly, when my body stops preparing to run. He took a slow step toward me. Then he stopped. I could feel him asking me without words, "Is this all right for you?" I didn't walk away, so he took another step, and another, always with a pause, always giving me time to answer. By the time he reached me, we had both made 100 small decisions to stay. He lifted his hand slowly and touched my neck, not like before, not with the quick, automatic stroke of someone who assumes he is welcome, but with the careful, grateful touch of someone who knows he is being allowed. That day, for the first time in a long time, I exhaled softly under his hand. Not because I was tired of resisting, because I was no longer resisting at all. This was not obedience. This was surrender without fear. He started visiting like this more often. Sometimes with a halter in his hand, sometimes without anything at all. When he did bring the halter, he no longer came in a straight line, trying to get to my head as fast as possible. He came to my side, to my shoulder, to my space, and only then, if my body stayed relaxed, he would quietly lift the halter into view. If my muscles tightened, he waited. If my eyes hardened, he paused. He started to listen to my answers, not just to his own plans. You think trust is when I let you put something on my head, or when I walk into the arena without pulling. But from my side of the story, trust began earlier than that. Trust began when he proved, over and over again, that he was willing to stop the moment I said, "I'm not ready." Not with words, with my eyes, my breath, my feet. He started to reward my smallest tries, one step toward him, one moment of stillness, one softer look. He treated them as if they were big gifts, and that made me want to give more. I began to notice something else. On the days when I was worried, he didn't push me. On the days when I was tight, he didn't demand the same work as the day before. He accepted that my fear wasn't about him, but he still chose to be kind to me. Trust isn't when I obey your cue. Trust is when I choose you, even when everything in my body is ready to run. The moment I finally trusted him again was not dramatic. There were no cameras, no audience, no perfect riding pattern to prove it. It was a quiet moment on a normal day. He came to the pasture with the halter. He stopped and waited, like he always did now. But this time, I didn't wait for him. I walked to him, not because I had no choice, because I chose. I lowered my head into the halter, not as a prisoner putting on a rope, but as a friend reaching for a familiar hand. He didn't celebrate loudly. He didn't cheer, didn't clap, didn't rush to climb onto my back. He simply rested his forehead against mine and breathed. In that moment, my body was calm. My mind was quiet. My heart was not planning an escape route. That was the moment we finally trusted each other again. You see, trust is not built when everything is easy. Trust is built after it was broken, in the patience it takes to repair it without forcing it back into place. If I move away from you, it is not always rejection. Sometimes it is a question. Can you handle my fear? Will you chase me, or will you wait for me? If I hesitate, it is not always defiance. Sometimes it is a test of your patience. Will you listen, or will you push past what I am ready for? The moment we finally trust you is not when you control us. It is when you prove that you don't need to. Trust is when I know that you will listen to the fear behind my behavior. Trust is when I know that you will stop pressure the moment I try, not the moment you win. Trust is when I know that you see more than a body to ride. You see a heart that could choose to run from you, but doesn't. I don't need a perfect rider. I don't need someone who never makes mistakes. I need someone who notices when they do and tries to fix them with softness instead of more force. The moment I finally trust you is the moment when I realize I no longer have to protect myself from you. That is the day my instinct to run steps aside and allows my choice to stay to take its place. And if you ever lose my trust again, know this: you can rebuild it. Not with bigger bits, tighter gear, or louder commands, but with quieter efforts, more waiting, more listening, more moments where you choose my comfort over your goal for the day. When you do that, one small moment at a time, you turn fear into safety, resistance into conversation, and distance into connection. And one day, without fanfare, without anyone watching, you will walk toward me, and I will walk toward you too. Not because I am trained to, because I finally believe that with you, I am safe. He falls silent. The wind moves gently across his mane. His eyes are softer now, not because his nature changed, but because his world did. You look at him and realize trust was never about getting him to follow you. It was about becoming someone he no longer needed to run from. If this message helped you see your horse differently, if it brought you closer to understanding his heart, consider subscribing to the channel. Here we share stories, truths, and lessons that bring horses and humans together with respect, honesty, and heart. Leave a like if this touched you, and tell us in the comments, what do you think would be the moment your horse finally trusts you, or trusted you for the very first time?